Bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. This is Love Entrepreneurs, the Love Entrepreneurs show, starring Larry Coslet, who is the founder of Love Entrepreneurs as well as Silvertree. And today's special guest is Angela Roth from Succeed from the Start. Larry, why don't you take it away?
Oh, well, thank you very much. So I wanted to welcome Angela in particular. She's not just only a very good friend of mine, but she's also an incredibly inspiring entrepreneur in her own right. So I dragged her along to do a big fix, didn't I, Angela? And, the main purpose of this session is really to just find out what you got out of it and how you... we've got this title, how the big fix changed my business. I mean, it's not so much out of grandiosity. It's really to have an honest discussion, because it might not change your business at all. You might have known everything, but it's just to help people out there looking into this, to look at, how did this help you going forward? Did it give you ideas? Did it give you thoughts that maybe you hadn't had before? Maybe bad thoughts. All kinds of weird.
I think first of all, I'd say that yes, it helped me. In fact, so much so that I came back a second time. So, sometimes we do. Yeah, we do. It almost brings out another idea. And it gets you to think outside the box. So for me, on the first big fix, I was talking about Succeed from the Start as it is now, with the core services that we offer, and I explained it, and it's actually really good for you to do that, because how many of us fully understand our own business? How many of us actually look at it and say, what do we do? Who do we do it for? Why do we do it? And you need to go back there to remind ourselves, so that even if you've got nothing else, explaining it to complete strangers and seeing if they understand what you're doing is a fantastic opportunity, because it gets your brain thinking, and you're asking yourself questions then, and you're saying, but does that work? Then you've got people asking you questions who've never met you from Adam. And so, again, you've got to think, how do I put it into words and into an idea, a shape that means something to them? Also, I think that the questions that come can be quite hard-hitting. So you've got to be a little bit prepared to to realize that you're not having to defend your business. You're not being attacked. You're being with people who care, who want to help and support you. And actually, unless you can answer some difficult questions about your business, then you probably don't fully understand your business in the first place. So it's a good place, primarily to expose you to new people, to have questions asked that make you think, make you explore, make you go further into your business and ask yourself, do you know what, could I be doing more? Maybe there are things that I'm not even seeing, that somebody comes into the room and says, well, yeah, but this would work in this way. Or have you thought of, publicizing it that way? So much so that out of my first event, where I talked about what I give my members, it opened up an idea of services that I could give non-members. Services that I'm already running for my members that could be appropriate for people who aren't members. And so then that almost became an offshoot idea, which started to gather momentum as I thought about it. And I talked to Ellery as well. And so that we did another big fix about that part, running it as a separate side stream, if you like, where that's actually led me into now selling quite big contracts to people on that sister business, which I hadn't even thought about before. So, that's like me summing up what the big fix was for me.
So it did change your business then. It's basically opened up, I guess, a new stream, a new side to your business that you hadn't thought about before.
Absolutely. And it was so perfect, because there were people in the room who wouldn't need my main offer. That wasn't something that they needed. They either had it, or their business wasn't something that I would work with, but they needed a part of what I did.
Let's explain
Um,
that, because people probably don't know what you do. So I think, it'd be very remiss of us, wouldn't it, to not allow you to tell us what those offers, what that original business is, and then what the add-on is, because
Absolutely.
so
this is an opportunity for you to tell everybody about what you do too.
Yeah, fantastic. So the original business, the main business model is a business community membership, which gives our members, who are normally very passionate, heart-led people who love what they do, they've got something that can change people's lives, but they've no idea how to package it. They've no idea how to put themselves in front of an audience. They're often a bit scared of tech, and they sort of, no, I don't want to go out to social media. They're perhaps a bit shy, and also they're not very good at selling. So they're looking for somebody who will support them in that. And so the community is very heart-led, very about getting their message across in a way that resonates with them. It sits on their values. So they're not selling in a way that is wrong to them. And then it gives them all the technical support behind that. So they all have an account with Go High Level where we do the digital marketing, and we support them with VA services, virtual assistant services, to run that part of the business, which takes the overwhelm away. When they've got this team there and they can put in the messages, could you just do a landing page for me? It's like a big sigh of relief for them. So we work with them then to craft their message to make sure that they've got all their content ready. But the new fast track version actually gets all of the detail done while VAs are out there building their social media, getting their Go High Level services ready. So 12 weeks time, they launch properly with everything sorted. So they can hit the ground running. That's our heart to help people do that, take away the fear side, and give them a reality, a business that is actually a real model that will work. Then out of that conversation, of course, in the Big Fix, people were saying, what tell us more about the VA services? And it had only ever thought, in my head, it was a great offer to my members who loved having these as supporters. But it never occurred to me that there's people out there that actually they've already got a digital account. Then maybe they're already with Go High Level or they're using a different system, but they're still overwhelmed with running that system, or they hate social media and they really don't want to be doing it themselves, but they don't need the other parts that I offer. And so therefore we look, well, let's look at delivering those VA services in a different way then. Let's work with people from outside who pay on a different model, but who want that service. And because we source our VAs and we look for them, we want them to be people who communicate well. We want them to be people who will listen well and won't try and persuade somebody that they should do things their way, but will listen and advise and give ideas and then go and work. So it takes away the overwhelm for so many people. I mean, how many people, truthfully, if you're listening, sit there and ask yourself this question: how much do you love communicating with people on social media platforms? Do you enjoy every day going in there and answering questions or looking for connections or commenting on posts and all this? How much is that your passion, and how much is it your duty that you actually would much rather be doing something else? Because if you'd rather be doing something else and thinking about the money that you can earn doing that something else, why not pay somebody who enjoys it at a much lower cost, who will look after you and care for you, and know, because this is absolutely fundamental to our business, and know that that person is being paid more than a living wage, is actually benefiting. You're helping them to grow and develop in their country. They're not being shortchanged. They're being able to start, like our lead VA is now building her own property business over there in the Philippines. When I met her, she was being paid peanuts. She was literally being paid enough to just about feed her family. Now she's got a life and she can go out there and start building her own business. But she works tirelessly for me and my community. And those are the kind of people that we want to help. So we're helping you, but we're helping them too.
Yeah, that is absolutely tremendous. The fact that you're helping. I mean, that's what it is. It's the circle of help, isn't it? Sort of, moving it all around. That's exceptional. And when you started with VAs in the Philippines, you started with one, presumably. Now, how big has the team expanded to?
Well, we've got two teams. One that's in Pakistan, and there's up to 175 different VAs that we can rely on, who offer different services. And then in the Philippines, we're building our own team, selecting from hand-picking people. So there's 5 at the moment, and that team is growing all the time because as they talk about us, they share the fact that there's someone out there who doesn't just want to pay them pittance, who really wants to value them. And it means that they can choose whether they want to work less and basically earn the same, but work less hours, because some of them have got mums and they've got children to look after, or whether they want to work full time and actually grow their own business, as I say, and improve their own lives. So that team is it's growing all the time.
Well, that's amazing. So if you had to sort of pick on maybe one thing that changed for you, one central thing that changed for you, and did it, so I'd like you to think of that one thing, but also how did you react to that thing? Because obviously people who come and do a big fix, we want them to come with a completely open mind, because this is not about telling them what they must do. This is just about suggestions. That's all we can do. We can suggest things. It's not right for them. It's not right for them. But how important is it for you to have that open mind?
It's huge, and I think it's a really good point to bring up, because I think people who come in to do the big fix, and I've been part of other people doing it, and some of my own clients have come in, and I think very often our business is our baby. It's something that we've worked so hard at. We're passionate about it. We've met pitfalls and all of those things, and it's almost like if we're not careful, we can build such a protective bubble around us that we don't allow free thinking. We don't allow somebody who comes in with some strategic thinking. So for me, I came in knowing that I needed an open mind, and at the same time, it was a new experience. The idea of talking to these complete strangers and sharing my passion and my heart. But if I had a closed mind, then there were some people who were asking questions, and I could have shut the shutters down. I said, no, I'm not going to listen to this. Who do you think you are questioning, me about my business? I've worked so long for this. And then I would have missed the magic. So it's, having that open mind when you come in and being aware that there may be some suggestions that are utterly crazy. Somebody might suggest something that either you've already tried and it was a complete disaster, or they just haven't quite understood the purpose behind your business, possibly because they don't actually know you that well yet, but they're suggesting something for you to think about. And if you close the door without thinking about it, chances are you may have closed the door on a stream of income or an opening for you that could be really beneficial. So I think that's the biggest thing to say. Don't come in thinking that you're there to defend your business. Realize that you're there to open up the heart of your business and allow other people to ask questions that have the power to change and grow your business, to take you to the next step.
Well, I think that's the thing, and I'm totally with you about that thing about it is your baby, and that happens all the time, and it happens with me, it happens with Gareth, it happens with you, it happens with us, because as entrepreneurs it is much more than just a job. It's a vocation. It's your life. And your identity is often intermingled with the business. And when people come along, I remember when I this is how I came across the idea. I did one myself years ago. And I had about 70 people in the room. And everybody came up with a totally different idea. Totally different, and it really sort of made me stand stock still like you. I was thinking, having got over but they haven't, my immediate reaction was, well, they haven't understood my business, have they? And I didn't think for 5 seconds that it was my job to explain my business to them properly, and it was my fault if they haven't understood it. But what I started to think about is, minds think differently. if the object of the exercise is to get your business out to as many people as you can, then you've got to work on, and this is, I've had to do a lot of work on this myself, to really get rid of that ego, to get rid of it, it's mine. Because actually what you're trying to do is make it a yours, aren't you? You're trying to bring this baby out to the world for everybody's benefit. So if I keep it not invented by, not invented here sort of mentality, the chances of it really growing is going to be limited. And I think that's important. That's a really important point to make. And I like what you said about you don't have to, I'm going to mention that to people doing big fixes going forward, that it's not about defending their business at all. It's about looking at ways how their business comes across and things that people think that could be added into that business to improve it, to widen the scope, to get more clients fundamentally, because that's what we all want, right?
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do at this point is just to throw up Angela's QR code. Now, where does this QR code take people, Angela?
So we'll take people to the heart and soul of our business. It's our membership handbook, which really explains the whole ethos that we work on,
Right.
how we stand with our clients and who we're looking to work with. And then it literally tells you what our services are, what the costs are, what the discount is, or you can use some silver, for example, to be part of our community, or just for the VA services, if that's all you need. There are discounts there with silver. So it gives you all the detail.
Okay, and if people could take note of that, and I would say go follow it, and you'll find out a lot more about what Succeed from the Start stands for. And if they're the right kind of organisation for you to work with, I encourage you to have a one-to-one with Angela. The other thing is on the corner, the bottom corner, you'll find that there's another QR code. Now that starts your journey on the big fix. If you want to have a council of elders, if you like, if you want to be surrounded by people who have got a variety of knowledge that you may or may not have, that may open up avenues you hadn't even thought of, then I encourage you to start on that journey. It costs you nothing but a bit of time. It takes over 2 days, after which Larry will create you a report, which you don't have to act on it, but they may provide you information which will provide you inspiration. And to everybody watching, I say, please keep reaching for the stars, keep your feet on the ground, but at the same time, please look after your mental health. Until next week, bye-bye.
Bye.